Hi, welcome to Alaskan in Thailand. Here in Hua Hin Beach, early morning again, a little after 6. Beautiful morning as usual. Love this cloudy weather in the morning. Sure does make starting the day cool, much nicer, yeah. Anyway, today I thought I'd talk about where to stay in Hua Hin Thailand if you do come or want to visit or something. It's kind of a big stretch, goes all the way up Cham, all the way up to Cham. So it kind of depends also too, what time of year you get here is what your choices are going to be, because during the high season, everything's kind of booked up here in town, which surprised me. When I first came to this place, I thought, wow, this place is really overbuilt. I came in the low season and I thought there's no way that all these places are going to be full by, I had the pick of the condos when I got here in July or September. I had the pick of the condos. I could stay just about anywhere I wanted. Prices were real cheap for most places. They'd give you 30 days or whatever you wanted to stay. But come around high season, I learned when I had friends that met people, they were saying there was no vacancy here in town. They had to actually stay out of town a little ways. Some as far as Cham. You go up to Cham, there's cheap condos up there, and I think year round, it probably gets booked up too during high season. I imagine it does too. But just looking at the magnitude of all the condos, you wouldn't believe it. But sure enough, they do. They all get booked up. So if you do come in, say, late November, December, January, February, you probably want to have reservations, book the place ahead of time. And now where to book, if you're like me and you just want to be close to everything, which kind of most people do, but there's some that will come and get a scooter, and it won't be a big drive to go around part of the town to come to the town to go to the mall or something like that. But actually, if you're going to stay here and you're walking and you're not planning on driving too much, you want to be centrally located. And that means anywhere kind of within the two mall areas, say as far up Blueport Mall or behind that a ways, a mile up that way past it. And then down here to the other mall, that's probably a mile or two, maybe 2 miles distance. But you can go back behind the tracks too. There's railroad tracks that intersect. They're just 2 blocks over that way. And you can go over there and over across the tracks. And that area is good too. You're still within walking distance of the beach. That's why I'm saying you want to be centrally located to where at least you can get to the beach every morning to do some exercise and go swimming and just go see the beach every morning. That's what I do. That was kind of, even at one time I lived probably a mile from the beach. I used to walk it every morning and then walk it back, come out. Sometimes I'd get here. By the time I'd get here, if I left a little late at like 6:15, when the time I got here, it was too hot. I already had to leave, turn around and go back. So yeah. So yeah, you want to kind of be within these 2 malls. Get between 2 malls or within a mile of them on either end, and then you'll have a dentist office available. There'll be a hospital, 2 hospitals available real close by, and I'm talking walking distance. There'll be 2 or 3 dentists within walking distance. There'll be the 2 malls, of course, and then there's the shopping centers in the malls. You'll be able to shop food. And then there's restaurants. There's night markets. There'll be 2 or 3 night markets near that area too. 2 of them anyway. And there's just food all over the place. And then you got immigration too. The main immigration office is like 5 miles way out up into the hills. It's out way out of town. I don't know why they put it out there. It's just out in the middle of nowhere, and that's the main office. But there's another branch here in Blueport Mall where you can get small things done. If you're come here and you're visiting Hua Hin and you want to get extended 30 days, you could just go there and get your 30-day extension. It's real easy, no hassle, no waiting. Pretty much just walk in and fill out a paper and you show them your room key and where you're staying, and pay the 950 baht or whatever, 900 baht or whatever, and you get your extension. So that's all within walking distance. You can go to the hospital, the dentist, eat, you know, and immigration, everything you're going to need will be within walking distance. That's what I'm doing. I haven't rented a vehicle yet. I have Grab on my apps, but I've used it to go to the hospital only because I went to the hospital's way out there. It's quite a ways out. It's like 4 or 5 miles out, the government hospital. So that's the only time I've actually ever bought transportation here. And that was only 300 or 100 baht out in one way. So that's $3. It was very reasonable. But other than that, I don't need transportation for anything else. I can just stay right in my area here, and I literally don't have to leave, you know. I didn't need to leave for the dentist. Excuse me. The only reason I went out far for the healthcare because it was cheaper out there. I saved myself about $3,000 by going to the hospital out there. Whereas I could have walked right across the street. You know, the hospital was that close. I could walk right across to it and got treated right there, but it would have cost more. But like I'm saying, everything is centrally located here. You walk right out there, there's cabs all over the place. The cabs here don't look like cabs. You'll just see a truck parked there, a pickup truck with a Toyota with a box camper on the back, and that'll be taxi services. They're all over the place. They'll ask you when you walk by, you want a taxi, sir, or something, you know. There's a lot of them. So yeah, the taxi services, if you need it, is right outside the door of every condo. Now, a lot of these condos right on the beach will kind of be expensive, but if you're coming for a vacation, it'll still be pretty cheap for you. You know, you could rent a really, really 5-star place for $500 or $600 a month, but you can live cheap for $190 a month too if you look hard and willing to live in a small studio next to the railroad tracks or something. But yeah, so that's another thing. You want to be near the beach. And you get just a block over off the beach, and the rents are reasonable. Again, they get really cheap and reasonable. You know, like I'm saying, I pay $340 a month where I stay, and I'm kind of right on the beach. It's offset maybe 50 yards off the beach, but it's that close enough to I walk to it in 5 minutes or less. So if you get off the beach just on the other side or 2 blocks inland, the rents are still cheap, and there's condos all over the place in there too, and they get much cheaper. Like I say, a lot of these are 5 stars on the beach. And check them out if you want. The prices probably ain't going to shock you because this is Thailand and things are pretty cheap. You're going to be living, you know, if you're used to I could spend $200 a night in Anchorage at a sleazebag flea bite hotel in Anchorage during the summer high season. You know, there you can't even get a room, and you will pay $200 a night or $400 a night. Here, if you paid probably $100 a night, you'd get a 5-star butler service, concierge, and all that. You know. So if I was gonna try to go for a high-end vacation, I'd do it here. It'd be pretty cheap to do, and you could live like a king on not a king's ransom. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, when you stay in, if you like I say, you can get between these 2 malls here, Market Village Mall down here and Blueport Mall up here. Get between them or anything off to the side a half a mile on either end of them, or inland even another mile inland, you know. As far over as, say, the Hua Hin residence, I used to stay over there, and that was about a mile inland. I had to walk every morning, and it wasn't too far, and the rents were cheap there too. It was only 350 something a month over there too, 380, depending on what size of the room. And it's quiet. Once you get off this main street here, that's the only really noisy one. If you're not facing right on the main street, the rest of the town is rather quiet, peaceful. Any side street you walk down, all you're going to hear is birds chirping. You're not going to hear no traffic or horns. It's another thing around here. There's no horns. I love that about this place. You never hear a Thai honk a horn around here. Love it. Just love it. Philippines just non-stop horn honking, and the only thing when the horns stop honking, then all you hear is the roosters. But yeah, I won't go there today again. But anyway, yeah, when you come here, like I say, if you can get near the malls, in between them, or a mile inland, or a half mile on each side, or a mile on each side, you'll have everything you possibly could ever want. There's massage shops, bars, Soy 94 is right over there. You have everything, the hospitals, 3, 4 dentists, 2 hospitals at least, eye clinics, ear clinics, everything you need, literally everything you need. Immigration, so lawyers, Great, like I say, great food, great markets, evening markets, you know. So yeah, you got everything you need. So when you come, you probably don't want to book somewhere way out in the boonies because you'll be lonely. There'll be no one to talk to. So yeah, I'd stay, if I were you, I'd stay right in the heat of it all. Get right in the thick of the expats, is, you know, the touristiest area you can find that ain't noisy, you know. Just get off the side street, off the noisy street. So you'll have some people to talk to in English, and you'll see other foreigners. Otherwise, it could be rather lonely. You don't want to end up in some Thai neighborhood where it's just all Thais around you. You wouldn't have no one to talk to. So yeah, seeing foreigners is a good thing. You'll think not. You're thinking in your mind, I'm getting away from the rat race. I don't want to see anybody. Yeah, well, you get here, you'll be lonely if you don't. So keep that in mind. But anyway, you can see it's high tide this morning. The tides are changing. One of these days, I'll come down here and this whole beach will be flooded. I won't even be able to do a video here. It comes up all the way later here in the fall. But anyway, that's my tip of the day, how to find a place or where to find a place in Hua Hin Thailand. And there's a multitude of them. Don't you just look on Google and you type in condo or rentals or hotels, and they're just all over the place. You just, like I say, way overbuilt. You shouldn't have any problems at all finding something. But keep in mind, the high season will be December, January, and February for sure. You'll be hard pressed to find a place in town. You'll have to go out a little ways, and then you'll just have to get into town to do anything. You know, there'll be markets out there too. But yeah, coming into town to see all the other expats and foreigners too will be something you'll want to do. Visit the malls. You'll want to come in and visit the malls anyway, and go shopping. The food places are in here. But anyway, it's a beautiful morning. I'll give you a look around. I'm going to go swimming. Photo shoot going on. That's everywhere down here, every day. I've been asked more than 4 or 5 times by women to take pictures for them. All you single guys coming in here can score. Bring some good camera equipment. This girl's got an audience. Well, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I upload every day for those of you that are new here. Be sure to check back. See you in the next one.